Hello all, welcome back to once again to another interesting story under the Azadi Kamrat Mahasa story series by Momish of Musings. Today I'm going to talk about an interesting story about the kings who have built the current IT hub of India. You all know what is the IT hub, right? It's in Karnataka and it's none other than Bangalore, our evergreen Bangalore city. But do you know that Wodeyar kings are the ones who have built the base for the Bangalore city to become the IT hub? The moment we talk about Karnataka, most of the people remember Tippu Sultan or Hyder Ali, all thanks to the movies and the social media, in which we get to see a lot of serials and movies, films on Hyder Ali or Tippu Sultan. But even before Tippu Sultan or Hyder Ali came, there is this Wodeyar dynasty right from the early 14th century who has started ruling Mysore kingdom and has started forming the base and started so many firsts as such in India in the Indian history, and they are the people who have started the first kind of people's government. Now, even before India got its own democracy, come on, my dear friends, let us go into the early 14th century to understand who are those people who have founded the Wodeyar dynasty and from where the Wodeyar dynasty's founding fathers have come. There is an interesting story that surrounds this Wodeyar dynasty founding fathers. Yaduraya and Krishna Raya are the founding fathers, are the founding members of the Wodeyar dynasty in the early 14th century. And when during the late 13th century, when Yaduraya is a teenage boy, he came to Chamundi Hills. The current Mysore area, and got married to the local chieftains, princesses by name Chikkadevarasi, and started and declared himself as a next feudal lord after Chikkadevarasi's father had passed away, and gave himself the title as Wodeyars. Wodeyar in Kannadiga means the local lords. But there is an interesting twist or interesting story associated with how Yeduraya and Krishnadevaraya came to Mysore region. Some historians say that these people are the inhabitants of the Mysore region who just seize the opportunity to marry the local chieftains, princess or daughter, and declare themselves as the feudal lords. But some people believe in the story which Yeduraya and Krishnaraya were telling about themselves. And the story goes like this: when Nidraya is a teenage boy, during the late 13th century, around 1398, 1399, Nidraya was in Dwarka. And at that point of time, he was getting a recurring dream about a beautiful goddess who is asking him to come and worship her in her temple, which is being surrounded with total green forest, dense green forest. And he didn't know whether it was a fluke or a coincidence, but this was a regular haunting dream for him. And after a certain point of time, he couldn't just stay at home experiencing this dream. It was as though like one divine force is pushing him to move out of Dwarka at that point of time. And then when he went and asked permission from his father that he has to go in search of this unknown deity who is coming to him in daily in the dreams, his father definitely didn't agree for this weird proposition or the fake story which he felt that his teenage boy is capable of concocting. You all know how teenagers are creative, all right? So he thought that he's chumma telling some story about and giving a reason to move out of the house. But his elder brother Krishna Raya, who is aware of all these his recurring dreams, gave assurance to his father that yes, he would accompany Yeduraya and safeguard him from all the unknown dangers or unknown evils which they might encounter during their long journey. That's how Yeduraya and Krishna Raya have set their journey into the unknown lands in search of the unknown deity whom they have seen only in the dreams. After a long, hard journey, they come to the current area, Mysore region, and they take shelter in the Chamundi Hills forest area. And the surrounding nature is so calm, serene, beautiful. They were relaxing, and Yedraya's mind was getting more and more peaceful by the minute. He didn't know what is the feeling that is happening in his mind at that point of time. Then there comes a monk in the to going in that area, and he meets these two youngsters. And when he inquires like how come they are here, they don't look like people from this particular region and stuff like that. These people, both the people tell the monk about their recurring dream and how they were forced to come and meet the goddess here, and after coming here their mind is at peace, and they may be the goddess they're in search for is somewhere around here. That's when the monk's face brightens up. You know, the reason monk is in search of two foreigners who are going to come to this region for a particular reason. And the reason is that monk has been guided by the local chieftain's wife to go in search of two foreigners who will be coming to that particular region within the span of that one particular 1 week or 10 days, whatever may be the timeline. So monk is in search of these two people, I mean, two foreigners who are expected to come to this area within that one period of time. The reason why the local chieftain's wife have sent this monk is that she got a dream from Lord Krishna. In that dream, Lord Krishna advised her or told her that two foreigners will be coming down to her area in a span in the next nearby future, and she should give her daughter's hand to one of those foreigners, and that foreigner would take place of her husband as the next feudal lord of that particular region. Do you believe in, if you do believe in coincidences, then you definitely believe this story, my dear friends, because one side goddess is calling all the and pulling both these youngsters with her imaginary hands all the way from Dwarka, and here this side Lord Krishna all is coming into the dream of the local chieftain's wife in Mysore all the way from Dwarka and telling that she should get her daughter married to these two foreigners. I mean, it cannot be just some cock and bull story, isn't it? That's how Eduraya gets married to Chikkadeva Rasi, the local chieftain's princess, and then he declares himself as the next feudal lord of that Mysore region. And at that point of time, Mysore region is under the great Vijayanagara Empire or the Hampi Empire under Krishnadevaraya's reigns. And Krishnadevaraya used to always, I mean, all these small kings actually used to pay taxes to Krishnadevaraya, and also act as independent, independent or princely states, how we call in during British time, they used to act independently on their own. And Krishnadevaraya, like Eduraya's mentality, how he was handling all the people, administrative process and stuff like that. So he started favoring Mysore kingdom a lot, and he started diverting a lot of funds for the development of the Mysore kingdom. After Krishnadevaraya's death, the Vijayanagara Empire is on decline, and during its last leg of the journey, Raja Wodeyar is the one who has declared himself autonomous and declared, made himself as the new independent ruler of the Mysore kingdom. And after Raja Wodeyar, Chikkadeva Raja Wodeyar is the next important king whom we should all be aware. And Chikkadeva Raja Wodeyar ruled Mysore kingdom during 16th century, and this is the time when he had paid a huge sum of 3 lakh rupees to Marathas as a fee so that he can annex the current Bangalore city to Mysore kingdom. That is how the Bangalore has formed a part of the Mysore kingdom, or now called as so-called the Karnataka state. Otherwise, it was under Maharashtra or the Maratha Empire. And Chikkadeva Raja is such a modernistic or futuristic thinker that he knew that for the people, the common people, if they have any problem with the government or with his empire, they can, if they come to one particular person, like in charge of agriculture, and goes in search of a problem and ask them how to solve this problem, he would send that person to some other person will send them to some other third party will send to fourth party. Like this, people used to play football even back in 16th century. So he has converted his entire governance into 18 different sub departments, and all these departments are supposed to function out of one single building, so that any grievance of the common man will be addressed in that building right from the morning till the evening, and none of the common people should go back empty handed without their problem getting solved out of the building by the end of the day. So with this kind of strict governance, all the people were able to resolve the problems which they are facing with the government or with the empire. And he and Chikadevaraya was also looking out for expanding his territories, getting the requirements of the people met. And he was and one more thing we need to note it down here is, when he divided his governance into 18 departments, he never said that only Wodeyars or only this particular caste people or this particular religion people would act in these departments. It was a totally Wodeyar rule, is a totally secular rule, and all the religions, all the castes, all the social segments were treated equally. Every human being was treated as a human being with equal responsibility and equal respect, and that is how even during in his military time, I mean in his army, he has given jobs for Muslims, Christians. Everybody, Hindus, everybody, people of low caste, people of high caste, there is no caste barrier, there is no religion barrier. And Hyder Ali has become a member of, I mean Hyder Ali's father is a local army commander during Chikadeva Raja's period. And Hyder Ali was just a teenage boy, and who started also working under Chikadeva Raja's rule. And after Chikadeva Raja's demise, most of the people who have come into the Wodeyar dynasty were kind of little weakling kings, we can say. And that is when Hyder Ali had taken, has grew in his role in the army. He became the local chieftain, army chieftain or Kotwal, what we call, took Sarvadikari, and he has taken away the power from the Wodeyar kings in 1761. And he has house arrested the Wodeyars and their family, and all these people were subjected to stay only in their palaces, and they cannot move out of the people, the palace, nor meet the common people. And Hyder Ali, on the name of the religion, he started ruling the kingdom with a very strict hand, and he felt that he needs to extend the friendship to his friendship hands to Nizam of Hyderabad, who were again then another Nizam kings, right? So at that point of time, he was colliding with Nizams of Hyderabad. He felt that with the help of Nizams of Hyderabad, he can fight against Britishers or French people invading from the down south. And on the other side, he was also expanding his territories. Like you can see all the way, and the Mysore kingdom has expanded up to Trichy in down south, and up to Andhra, almost up to Andhra in the that Karnool, Kadapa in the Andhra region, and again Maharashtra side. It was expanding in all the directions. Tippu Sultan's son, Hyder Ali's son, Tippu Sultan took over the reins after Hyder Ali's death, and he ruled for till 1799. And this nearing 40 years of the rule was done by both these two people. And during this entire 40 years, 40 years were always at the house arrest, and they were not able to come to the house or nor meet the common folks. Though they were they were acting only as a titular heads. Though Hyder Ali has confiscated seals, official royal seals, and royal emblems, but for some of the situations, he has to get the signatures of the titular kings as well. Then Maharani Lakshmi Ammani couldn't digest this fact that these two people were making their sons and her sons and the future heirs of Wodeyar dynasty as just the titular kings. So she has gone ahead and negotiated a deal with Britishers. Some people say that she negotiated a deal directly with the Britishers, and Britishers killed Tipu Sultan in the Anglo-British War during Fourth War with both war. But some people say that she has employed two mercenaries who killed Tipu Sultans during the Anglo-British War, Fourth War, and Britishers took the credit for killing Tipu Sultan because she wanted only the rights of the ruling the Mysore kingdom, and because of her work, Krishna Raja Wodeyar III has become the uh, real king of Mysore kingdom, and he started ruling Mysore kingdom in all his honest way. And again, once when Krishnaraja Wodeyar III has taken the control, all the Wodeyar rule, all the ODR policies, all the ODR systems, everything was again once again brought back into place, because the ministers who were guiding the earlier ODRs, Father Tipu Sultan, or obedient ministers who were equating themselves with the ODR principles and ODR ideologies. The next most famous person who from the Odia dynasty, who is called Krishna Raja Odiyar IV, and he is being called as Rajarshi, the modern king, the most devoted king, the people's king by so many people in and around outside India. He is the, I mean, he has to take the control of Odia kingdom at the age of 11 years itself. And because he is so his mother has ruled the kingdom as a regent with the help of the good ministers who were there in their who were helping her during that time, and he took the full control of Mysore kingdom at the age of 18. And as soon as he has become the king, he was actually he has completed his studies in London. He was guided by the Anglo-Indian tutors and a lot of other knowledgeable scholars from Sanskrit, Hindi, Persian, and a lot of other languages. So he made a compulsory rule saying that primary education is a must for all the people in his kingdom. And he has started spending his own money to build new schools instead of not waiting for Britishers to sanction the funds or whatever it is, because at that point of time, Mysore Kingdom is a princely state, right? So he started spending his own money to build new schools in those remote areas where the roads were not accessible or stuff like that. He started paying money to the teachers. And one more thing, it's not just that he made an act and said it's compulsory. He was going and visiting some of the schools personally, and he was punishing those parents who were not sending their kids to the school. And of course, he was giving incentives for the parents to send these kids to the schools, like giving them the free food and all that stuff. But at the same time, he was also punishing people if they just utilize the benefits that come with by studying, I mean, by enrolling in the schools and not studying. He's ensuring that everybody is getting the knowledge. And also at the same time, he's the first person who has formulated the legislative council in Mysore Kingdom, and in the legislative council, not only the members of the royal family or the ministers from the royal court get the entry, but on also 50% of the people who do come from the common people, common public, because common public are the ones who know their problems better, and so they can help in resolving those problems in a better way, because that is how the kingdom should be ruled. I mean, this is the time I'm talking about the 18th century, my dear friends, where most of the big nations were not even having legislative council. Forget about the assemblies, and he has also made right to vote for women. He has made it compulsory for women also to participate in politics. What a no, I mean, futuristic thinking, we should say. His futuristic thinking didn't stop at that point of time. During the late 18th century, there was a very great famine that struck the Mandya region and of the Mysore, and because of that, Mysore kingdom has lost more than 20% of its population in that great famine. The reason is that though they have a huge, this mighty Kaveri river flowing through the Mysore kingdom, the Kaveri river is hugely dependent on the monsoons. Post the monsoons, most of the water of the from the Kaveri river will go and join the Bay of Bengal, but and after the monsoons, the most of the region, Mandya region, and all these areas stay dry, and the people have to really work hard for the even drinking water. So at that point of time, Krishna Raja Odiyar four has Mokshagundam Visvesvaraya, a famous engineer, Indian engineer, as their divan. So when he consulted Mokshagundam Visvesvaraya, Visvesvaraya ji has given him a grand plan that we can build the Krishnaraja Sagar Dam near the current Brindavan Gardens, which will be not only store water and supply water for the agricultural drinking purposes to all the Mandya region, to entire Mysore kingdom, but also can generate electricity. But the Legislative Council has vetoed this plan, saying this is of no use, it's of a very big expense and stuff like that. The initial estimate of building KRS dam was 81 lakhs rupees. Then Krishnaraja Wodeyar 4 decided that yes, he believed in Mokshagundam Visvesvaraya's plan, this gigantic plan, and he said that yes, he will fund this project. He started funding this project without the approval of the Legislative Council of the Mysore Kingdom, and they started building. It was almost towards the end of this dam construction. Krishnaraja Wodeyar 4 has been sold all the jewelry from his side, from his wife, from the all the family jewelry, all the heirlooms, all their expensive clothes, everything in the Bombay auction houses, so that he can raise money to pay to the laborers, to pay to the for the construction materials and stuff like that. But still, there were 4 more weeks to go. Krishnaraja Wodeyar didn't have even a single penny in his pocket at that point of time. He was totally at loss as to what to do next. Both Mokshagundam Visvesvaraya and Krishnaraja Wodeyar were in deep thought as to how to come out of this problem. The maximum period which they can envision this project will get completed is 4 to 6 weeks. But they don't have any money to pay even for a single laborer. After long, hard discussions on that particular day, Krishnaraja Wodeyar told his team, from the royal court, to send messengers for the people around the KRS dam area, and asking those village heads to come and meet him in the current Vrindavan Gardens area. Mokshagundam Visvesvaraya said that okay, fine, but I don't think this will really solve the problem. He said when Krishnaraja Wodeyar's answer at that point of time is when God closes one door, he'll be opening one small window somewhere. I hope the messengers would be able to at least pass information to 5 to 6 villagers. And even if those villagers offer their services to us at the free of cost, then half of our problem might be solved. Let us, in the meantime, he's put one of his famous palaces, Lalita Mahal Palace, and other palaces for auction to Britishers, so that he can continue supporting the expenses for the KRS staff. Both of them had a sleepless night. Next day morning, around in the afternoon, around 12 o'clock, they both went to the current Vrindavan Gardens area, and they had a small guest house where these two people used to reside and oversee the progress of the dam construction. They thought maybe 5 to 6 village heads or maybe 10 max people will come. But trust me, 500 to 600 people turned up. That is the devotion which these messengers have shown. Within a span of 12 hours, they rode their horses hard and fast, so that this message, that Maharaja's important message about KRS dam, should reach everyone. Because the horsemen knew the importance of this KRS dam. They wanted this KRS dam to be completed at any cost. 500 to 600 odd people came. Maharaja came down from the guest house, went and met each and every one of them personally, spoke to them. Till that point of time, Mysore Kingdom people have seen most of the Maharajas high up from the balconies. They didn't meet them or shake hands with them. Then what happened? After all this, Maharaja stood on the high dais and said, "This is what is the situation. I'm not able to fund anybody. I'm totally penniless. I need time. But this construction cannot stop now, because if we don't complete this construction, the monsoons will come and our entire effort will go vain." Then one of the villagers asked, "What can we do for you?" He said, "As per our Visvesvarayaji's words, it needs 4 to 6 weeks of effort for this dam to get completed. I want you all to volunteer your services. Of course, I may not be able to pay you on a daily basis, but once one of my palaces gets auctioned, I'll pay back you all the money." The villagers got stunned. The village heads, they didn't know what to say. For some of them, it's their daily money, right? Without this money, they cannot eat, they cannot feed their families and back at home. Maharaja had tears in his eyes. Mokshikunda Visvesvaraya also had tears in his eyes. They all waited for some response from the villagers. The villagers didn't say anything. It became evening. The villagers returned back home. Again, another sleepless night for both Maharaja and Visvesvarayaji. Next day morning, Mokshikunda Visvesvaraya came running into Maharaja's room. Said, "Rajaji, you have to come and see this." Maharaja got surprised. He said, till that point of time, he's seen only composed Vishveshraya. He never seen Vishveshraya in such exuberant way. Joyful or manner. He came out rushing through the door. He saw 100 people coming out of the out of the door and the compound wall. Within half an hour, that 100 turned into 1,000 people. 1,000 turned into 2,000 people. The number kept on increasing. Who are all these people? The common man, the common folk from all the nearby villages. They all came. They all started shouting in Maharaja, "Maharaja ji, we will give you all free of service. You don't have to pay. Please don't auction your palace. This is for our benefit only. You're doing all these things." Everybody started shouting. And this crowd contained kids, old people, housewives, other men, everybody. Old people are saying, "We cannot work on the dam, we cannot do the hard work, but we can stand outside and help in cooking food for them." Some people said, "We can arrange other things for them, we can carry the load for them." Seeing this huge, tremendous response, Maharaja started crying. He just put his hand on the heart and blew kiss in the air, saying he's indebted for his life for the love and affection which these people are showing to him. 4 weeks have passed. As per Visvesvaraya's timelines and estimate, within 4 weeks, the dam got constructed. The electricity started getting generated. Now you tell me, what do you expect? The electricity got generated? The famous Mysore palace in Mysore, which belongs to Krishna Raja Wodeyar's palace, would have got illuminated? No, my dear friends. First, this electricity has gone to all those villages from where the villagers have come down to help them. Bulbs have started burning in their houses. Second, it went to Kolar gold fields, KGF fields, where the workers are mining gold in dark, unpitiable conditions. Next, it went to light up the street lamps in Bangalore city, where it was used to become pitch dark in the evenings. Lastly, on the last time, it came to Mysore Maharaja Palace. That is the commitment which a king has shown it to his people. And the love the people have reciprocated to this king is just uncomparable. I cannot hear any of these kind of stories anywhere in the history till now. I can tell with the hand on my heart saying, this story really moved me. I hope it moved you too. It's not that alone. Mokshikunda Vishvesvaraya advised Maharaja that having schools in the state is not sufficient. This KRS dam shouldn't stop with one dam. We should build more and more dams. We require more and more engineers and doctors to cater to the future society. So Maharaja has started opening a lot more colleges on his behalf with his personal funds. Of course, then people were giving funds. They knew why Maharaja is doing all these things. Swami Vivekananda wrote a letter to Maharaja saying that asking him to start an institute of higher learning for engineers, where engineers can do research, start inventing more and more new things which will benefit Bharat in the long run. Taking this advice from Swami Vivekananda, Maharaja has started IISc Bangalore, which is one of the Ivy League institutes in the current modern day, isn't it? Everybody will feel, all of us feel proud to be associated with the IISc Bangalore, and it's all engineers team like me, everybody, to step foot into IISc Bangalore. He, and with the help of Vishwesvaraya, with his forethought, Maharaja also started more and more industries like iron and steel industry. Mysore is known for sandalwood, so sandalwood oil, sandalwood soap, then tanning industry, then leather industry, whatnot. You name the type of industries, Maharaja has started so many industries. He's given grants, he's given permissions. So that's all I have the story for today. But if I start talking about Maharaja, I just can't stop. There's so much to talk. He's started so many first things in India, right? A huge dam constructed for the benefit of the people with his personal money. Institutes of higher learning, institutes of primary education, in medical colleges, hospitals, roads, whatnot. Then why Krishna Raja Wodeyar is not famous like Tipu Sultan and Hyder Ali? I don't know the answer. I honestly don't know the answer. Maybe it's in our mentality or maybe it's in our education system. Yes, we do agree that the moment you go to Bangalore or Mysore, we see KR Puram Circle, KR Puram, KR Bus Stand, KR this, KR that. But how many of this generation Karadigas also know what is KR Puram or who is this KR? Krishna Raja Wodeyar 4. The great deeds which is done. That somewhere I heard the quote that the person who forgets his history ruins his future. Maybe that is what we are doing currently in Indian subcontinent, my dear friends. Anyways, I'm leaving the question open to you. Please do let me know your thoughts. Let us meet with an interesting story tomorrow. Till then, bye bye.